hanging on a sliver, just to hippies here. What? After you're a believer. Yeah, that's it. I mean,
Nice.
it's a bullshit song.
All right. So, welcome to the 2.5 Hippies podcast.
Yes.
My name is Alex. This is Jack, and we actually have a special guest here. Why would you like to introduce yourself here?
Yeah, my name's Reed Kramer. I'm a close friend of theirs at this point.
Yeah.
Started
We're
out
in the same fantasy league. Yeah.
exactly, and then my younger brother's been friends with them for a long time. So after
Childhood friends. Yeah.
enough time, I got to know them and realized they were pretty cool younger kids to be hanging out with. So thanks for having me on the pod.
No,
So,
thanks for being
absolutely, Yeah.
Thank you.
Clearly, you have a passion just like us in music. I think the reason why you wanted to be on this is I feel like you had a lot to say. So I just want to get really hot right now. One of the first podcasts we did was I mentioned that your shirt are one-hit wonders, that Mr. Brightside was the biggest hit. And before you go off on me and start berating me, I would like to make my point of view here. The way I view Mr. Brightside is that song is like kind of bigger than music. It's kind of like just like a universal anthem. And I don't think any other Killers song really reached that height. They have other hits with like When We Were Young, Somebody Told Me, Human, a lot of these like big songs. But Mr. Brightside was the one that like catapulted into like another realm. It's like bigger. Like they're playing it at weddings, they're playing it at clubs, they're doing endless amount of EDM remixes of it. So that's why I had the question of why that was a one-hit wonder. But obviously, I want to hear your take.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, where that song being bigger than the song itself, right? Like it's kind of transcended a few different generations. But at the same time, when you look at all great artists with discographies of great music, a lot of them have amazing songs. They're known for a one-hit wonder, right? Like you could argue, like people that don't actually know or fuck with Bob Marley know Three Little Birds.
Yeah.
Right?
Everyone
knows that song, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that Bob Marley doesn't have 20, 30 other songs that are
I'll give you another one.
just as
Smells
good.
Like Teen Spirit. I feel like that song transcended Nirvana.
Okay, but I'll raise you one. Like, I love Nirvana. They have 2 albums, right? And realistically, like, In Utero is decent. I don't think it's that good.
And
like, I think
No,
Smells
All
Like Teen
Apologies,
Spirit.
like
Yeah.
Penny Oil.
But, like, if you look at the whole album, there's like 5 or 6 songs that are like worth listening to, in my opinion. And then obviously, like, I would argue cover to cover, Smells Like Teen Spirit's phenomenal.
Never mind.
But or exactly, never mind. Thank you. But when we talk about the Killers, like I think we were talking about this over the phone. I don't know if it was on the last pod or whatever, but they've got at least their first 4 albums that are phenomenal. Like I don't even listen to a lot of their new stuff as much, but they have 5-6 gems on each of those 4 albums that are amazing.
Oh,
Day
yeah.
and Ages is a good album too.
Yeah, I mean,
Even though they went
Human's a great song.
Human is a great. They went totally electronic. Like they kind of abandoned the traditional. Like
I would argue that's their weakest of their like kind of first 4 albums, but like their B-side album that like kind of like they randomly dropped, like I forget, I think it was after Sam's Town, Sawdust, phenomenal. Like there's a ton of really good songs on there that they just didn't know would like hit with the public, but it still has more of that original Killer sound to it. Like Under the Gun, do you know that song? Phenomenal song. Like it sounds like it would be off of Hot Fuss or Sam's Town. And then they also have ballads on that. Like, do you know the classic song Romeo and Juliet? I forget exactly who it's by.
Dire Straits.
It's by some like
Is the
old
song-
folk guy, and it's singing the 2 different perspectives of Romeo and Juliet. But Brendan Flowers does a phenomenal cover of that as well.
Dire Straits might have
They
done
have a
it too,
song
but they
called
didn't do it originally.
It was some.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like I don't want to say Ed Huxley, but like some like more older style person like that. But to answer your question, like I do understand the concept of the one-hit wonder thing from the Killers, specifically because of Mr. Brightside. But I do not think it's fair to loop them in as a one-hit wonder whatsoever.
Where I've thought about this a lot, and this is kind of my first time saying it on the mic, is that I think we're getting away from the definition in the words of One Hit Wonder.
Yes.
Like the words themselves, One Hit Wonder, mainly are songs that you know the name of the hit, but you couldn't name the artist. Where Smells Like Teen Spirit, everyone knows it's by Nirvana. While We Were Young, everyone knows it's by The Killers. Like, or Santeria, everyone knows it's by Sublime. Like, it's where it's like the wonder part, I feel like, is where you have the disconnect. Because, like, they might be only known for one big song, but they have other hits. And the people know the band. Like, they know the hit song and they know the name of the band.
Perfect example, right? I don't even remember if it's Dex's or Dexy's Midnight Riders.
Yeah,
do you know the song?
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Come on, Eileen.
Yeah.
Come
Can
on,
you
Eileen.
name one other fucking song? Most people don't even know the
That's
band.
one of the
Yeah,
purest
the
one-hit wonders.
And
That's the
same with Steelers Wheel.
most
Stuck in the middle with
Yeah.
you. No one
Yeah.
knows it's by
I
Steelers
know that
Wheel.
from Reservoir Dogs. That's how I know.
But that's from like a video game, right? Like that's learning it from something else. Like I feel like for example, what I almost equate like Mr. Brightside to, because I do agree that it kind of like transcends like music itself because it's so big, is like Sweet Caroline, right?
Yeah,
There's like a
that's
whole
good example,
generation
too.
of people.
I don't know. I couldn't name you another dude.
I don't even know who fucking wrote that song.
Neil Diamond.
That's a big
Okay,
name. That's a very big
exactly.
name.
Neil Diamond's a huge artist. I didn't even know that he wrote that song.
Yeah,
Because when I think of
gigantic.
Neil Diamond, I think of
Exactly.
several other songs.
But that song transcends so much.
Okay, but right, like you look at Dirtbags, right? Like I don't know if you guys
Teenage
ever went down
Dirtbags,
or
Wheatus,
no,
Wheatus.
like the bar in Tucson.
Yes.
So every
okay.
night at midnight they play Sweet Caroline, right? And like to the point where it's like fuck this song, like I don't want to hear it anymore.
It's just too
And it's
overplayed.
the same thing with Mr. Brightside. Like to be honest, like when I first was hearing that as a kid, like phenomenal song, I love the music video, like great song. I can't stand that song. It's one of my favorite bands of all time, but it's so overdone and overplayed. And so I think for like basically like people born late 90s through today, that's kind of like their Sweet Caroline. Everyone knows what it is. People that don't like rock music or alternate indie from the early 2000s, like they
Special
know it.
era though, very special era.
Very special era for
Like
music.
a lot of great bands coming out of that. Like
A ton.
Arcade Fire.
Yes.
Bon Iver was around that time.
Yes.
Fleet Foxes. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you know a lot more than I do. But
Yeah, no,
the
I-
Killers are kind of like one of the biggest at that time, or like.
Yeah, well, and I would argue too they were a little bit of like ahead of the curve.
yeah.
They're based out of Vegas, so like they were able to blow up a little quicker because they had that like whole kind of
were a
scene.
huge hit-
But you know who
cover
else was a
band.
huge Vegas band was Panic at the Disco.
Wow.
They were kind of around that similar time.
They had a different route into the industry.
Yeah, they did like a little more electro.
Yeah, Fueled by Ramen, aren't they? Fueled by Ramen. You know that record label? It's a record label that signed like Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
Paramore. They were like part of the.
Little
Yeah,
more,
where-
little more
where-
punk emo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where the Killers were true indie.
Yeah, Killers were like.
Yes.
Because
legit
the Panic
indie.
released under a record label as their
Yeah.
first album, where the Killers didn't.
Like Modest
Yeah.
Mouse was like.
Well,
that
and the
around there.
Killers are super religious too.
Oh,
Or at least Brandon Flowers is. I forget if he's Mormon or what his
Or the
deal
Killers.
is. But there's a lot of like undercover biblical references inside of their music.
Wow.
But yeah, like on your point, like for example, like
Amen, brother.
one of my favorite like artists, maybe even a little bit before that time, like late 90s, is the Radiohead, right? Like if you look at Radiohead as a whole and their discography and how it's changed, and like same thing. Like I'm not like over here diehard like Radiohead new music like as much. I know they come out with some
Like
decent
Moonshaped
stuff.
Pool was like a big album in the 2010s. But
It's good. It was good. See, like I would argue that's like even a little past their prime, but that's a good album.
in Rainbows, it just came out of nowhere.
Phenomenal.
Just released for free,
Yeah.
like online, like
Yeah.
just like that.
I mean, like I would say, like my favorite two are like OK Computer and
Yeah,
Kid A.
Of course, those
like,
are like the
phenomenal.
Yeah.
But in Rainbows,
The Benz is also pretty good.
the Benz is phenomenal. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other artists from like that time. I mean, like little more of a sleeper, but kind of same time frame. Like late '90s, early 2000s. Incubus.
Drive.
Incubus.
They might
Phenomenal.
be one-hit wonders, dude.
No, but that's the thing. Like
They
when we're
might
talking
be-
about
Drive,
artists,
like, Drive
that
and-
they're still touring.
What-
They
what-
have
what
a
other
good
song do they have
discography.
with Drive? I
Like
couldn't tell. Like,
Animali's really good.
Okay.
Dig is really good. Great guitar piece in Dig. Actually, I know
okay.
you play
I would
guitar.
have to check that out.
Well, okay, so
Pardon
I feel like
me.
I
Sorry,
feel like
go
we're
ahead.
Yeah, I gotta look
piecemealing some of your biggest influences. Definitely the Killers. I feel like Radiohead stands out for me as like some of your influences. Who do you feel like were your biggest inspirations when you were making music with a band? way long ago.
Well, you referenced a few of them already. So definitely Radiohead, but then Bon Iver specifically. We didn't do a lot of acoustic stuff, but we loved kind of his like, I don't know, like he took like a little more of an insightful approach, like using lyrics that were a little like hard to almost like understand unless you like are reading them and like kind of thinking about them.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the, you know, I like the sad boy shit a lot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else was like.
Skinny Love is a banger.
Oh yeah, like but
Do you think that's a little overplayed?
yeah, like great song. I would argue like a lot of these great songs, like they'll always be great songs, but my perception on them gets worse the more they're played. Like
100%.
for example,
overplayed kills a song.
I think there's like pretty much every other song on that album, Forever Ago, is better. And like, do you know like how that album was made or like the history of it? All right, so this is fucking awesome. So Bon Iver, or the lead singer, I think his name's like Justin Vernon or something.
Yeah,
yeah,
I know because he worked with Kanye.
Yeah. So sick. So that album was him getting out of like a super long relationship with a gnarly ass breakup. And I forget exactly where. I want to say it was like Wisconsin or Michigan or some shit. And his parents had this old cabin way out there in the middle of nowhere in the forest. And he went out there for like, I don't know if it was like...
Is that the same one in the album cover?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
6
sense.
months,
Okay.
12 months, like a fucking long
Just like
period of
isolated
time.
himself.
Isolated himself and wrote that whole album about the heartbreak. And like there's the album's called Forever Ago, and then there's a song on there called Forever. But like oh god, it's gonna drive me nuts. The last song on that album, I believe, is called Stacks, and like the lyrics to it in the last like verse there, where he's talking about exactly how he's able to like kind of grow out of this. That's like the realest shit you'll ever hear. It's like this is not a. Oh god, it's so good. It's like it's the sound of the unlocking lift away. Like just like such like subliminal type lyrics that like you can like kind of make it whatever you want it to be. But for him, it was just like almost like therapy, because he like had a bunch of like elk meat. He like froze it there, and he just lived off elk meat in this cabin for like 6 months.
Is this his debut?
Well, like
This is his first big one. Yeah.
talking about like lyrics like that, you know who I think was perfect at being ambiguous, that you can paint your picture by while also leading you down the road, is Lennon and McCartney.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were so great at like just like being specific at times, but also like wrapping things in that like
where it's kind of universal.
you can kind of put it kind of the phrase might mean nothing, but it could mean different things to different people.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Like I mean, well, and they're like, and that's why like, and I love the Beatles to death, and like I'll die on the hill that they are the best band of all time. They're not my favorite band of all time, but to your point, and like if you look, first of all, their discography is huge, right? But then second, like,
Is it that?
oh, it's massive,
I mean,
bro.
like,
They have like
for
at least-
being
I think
together
a lot
for
of their
10
early
years,
work
it
are
is
throwaways.
gigantic.
A lot of the early work are throwaways.
well,
in my opinion.
I agree, but like if you look at how they started, bunch of kids singing like "Oh, love me do," right, and then they were like went through these different phases.
Their generation's Justin Bieber or Michael Jackson or like it's one
Yeah.
of these young phenoms.
Yeah, but they
like,
did such a good job
James
of like
Bond.
not staying stagnant. Like for example, an artist that's like kind of been like, and he crushes it. Like I know he was just here touring, and like I love his stuff, but I feel like he doesn't change it up enough now. Is like The Weeknd. Like I feel
I'd
like
argue he changed it up way too much from his early
he
work.
was starting to, and now it's like he's kind of that's what happens when you fall into that like super
He got into
only
acting,
pop.
and that kind of ruined his career.
Well, like, I mean, for example, like Maroon 5, awesome. First couple albums, awesome. I think they're the biggest sellouts ever now. I fucking hate their pop music. Like, it's not bad, but it's just so, like, it's that Benny Bianco structure of just, like,
Benny Blanco. Is
Whose music?
like-
Whose new music?
Maroon 5.
Oh yeah, it's
Like-
well, that's who made their music. Is Benny?
You think
well,
the-
not their
like-
early
you think
shit,
The
though.
Weeknd
Like,
sold
But the
out?
later shit.
the kind of, like, I think he's
Well,
so talented. I think he needs to do more R&B shit. Like, that's what he was
I
doing,
think
like,
he
when
works better in
Trilogy
pop
was
music.
out.
I personally like his pop music more. Like
A
Blinding Lights.
lot of millions of people do.
Blinding Lights. That's the most played song in.
Side note, real quick, for another podcast, we did a segment one time where he gave me 2 albums from an artist, and he said which one of them is where they sold out.
That's
so
a
he,
good...
so he'd be like, did they sell out here or here?
Yeah, for Maroon 5, easily they sold out after. So they had their first 2 albums. The one that makes me wonder, the one with the Overexposed. Am I thinking of the right one? Or before Overexposed?
No, you're right. I would say their first 2 albums, and then the third album with like Never Gonna Leave This Bed and Misery. That's where they started getting into that poppy
Moves
shit.
Like Jagger. That was written by Benny Blanco.
Yeah. And that's but before, because to your point, like those first 2 albums, are like songs about Jane. It's cool. Like when I used to collect vinyls, that vinyl's worth like over $500. It's a super, super like respected vinyl, and from cover to cover, that's like an alt rock band. Still a little pop in it.
It's very poppy.
But same time, like She Will Be Loved is like not a pop song.
That's one of the songs that I think transcends the band, that like became bigger than the band.
Yeah, but now they come out. I swear you could say the same songs since like I was in high school, like after I had already liked the original Maroon 5 stuff. It's the same shit they're playing today.
Like I think Girls Like You is like might be the worst song of
Ever. I don't know about ever, but horrible.
With Cardi B.
Yeah,
oh
so
my,
trash.
Yeah. Dude, it's just hilarious. Like, you look at the early work, they try to show a lot of the band, but they definitely show a lot of Adam Levine. If you go on their later work, like, you literally, like, all the other band members are just blurred faces, and it's literally all focused on Adam Levine.
Yeah, well, you know who also did that is Panic, Brendan Urie.
Yeah, but Brendan Urie just kicked out all of his members, and he became the sole member.
Yeah,
of his
and
own
Ryan Ross,
Yes.
who was the guitarist and like really was kind of the writer for their A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, which is like a phenomenal album.
Is that the one before Pretty Odd?
Yeah,
That's their first
Pretty
album.
Odd is your favorite, right?
Pretty Odd is great, and that's the last time Ryan Ross was in the band. But
I agree.
They
And
did a 180s because they were trying to be like the Beatles. Like they
That's
were
exactly what he said.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah. So you want to hear something insane? Like iPods were out. I had like an iPod Mini,
Oh, I love that era.
and I fucking bought Pretty Odd at Best Buy on CD. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
You
have
could
an
burn
MP3
it to your
before?
iTunes.
Yeah, I had to plug it or shoot it into the old iMac and like do all that.
Yeah, of course.
well-
that era was such an interesting time. Like buying a song for 99 cents, buying it out like online.
Yeah.
And you can't like resell, like if you buy the song, like I
Yeah.
don't know, like it's kind of a weird time.
Well, you know what I used to do.
industry
This is a Steve Kramer special. We used to go to that library right off like Cactus and
You get all
Steve
the
Kramer
CDs. You look for all the
special.
CDs.
you rent
the CDs. You burn it.
and
to
you
the-
burn
I think
them
I've done
on.
that before too.
Dude, yeah.
I've definitely done that before.
Well, and I was I think part of the reason I have so much knowledge about music too is the way I'd have to go about it because I was like super OCD with it. So like I'd burn a CD onto it, right, and then it would show up in your iTunes library. But like most of the time it'd be like untitled 1, 2, 3, 4, like no
it doesn't
names,
show
no
the
that shit.
names?
So, dude,
Oh.
I would go through and compare and contrast on iTunes down to like the comma.
I think
Well, let me tell you something, Reed. All that hard work you did, me and Namong were the benefactors of it. We got the hand-me-down iPods from the older brothers.
Yeah.
Not only
You know
that,
what I mean? So
I got
we
into
had a
illegal-
curated list.
I got into like LimeWire and all that shit, like YouTube to MP3 converters. So I was
Oh, yeah.
into before streaming. I don't think I spent a dime
But
on music.
but you have expressed to me that you got your hand-me-down iPod
No, I
from
got
your
my
brother,
own iPod.
and
I got my own
so we
iPod.
kind of both had this
But
like
hand-me-down
curated
music,
list.
Definitely, a lot of the music I was introduced to was through my brother because, like, I think the first song he downloaded was like "Temperature" by Sean Paul or something like that, or like "Candy Shop" by 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Song. Like
Yeah.
mid 2000, like one of the biggest songs at that time. Like that's it's kind
But-
of crazy. Those were the songs that were being bought on iTunes at that time. Another album I remember buying was My Chemical Romance, Black Parade. That was a big album I had.
yeah,
I bought.
great album. He's still, dude. He looks great.
Gerard Way?
Yeah, dude.
He got a little fat.
Yeah, well, but his face, he like looks like for that kind of artist, like he's been doing that shit a long time,
Yeah,
and they're
I think
still
he's
touring.
emo Freddie Mercury. I think I call My Chemical Romance emo queen.
You know who like, it's not. I don't even think it's that hot of a take. I've been seeing a lot of shit on the internet about it. Speaking of Freddie Mercury, and I liked Beautiful Things a lot, but this whole Benson Boone, like, did you guys see his Coachella thing? Like,
Dude, the backlash Benson Boone's kind of like a hot topic right now.
well, it's
Everyone's
like
turning
it's
against
definitely
him.
too much because I think
not
he's got a
bad.
great voice,
not bad.
but like he needs to like.
I think it's very vanilla music.
He's
Like,
got to
it's
just
not-
hone in on. Well, he's got to hone in on. Like he definitely wrote that first song, or like at least put his
that
own
second
flair
song
on it.
sounds like just a derivative of other like
Yeah.
mystical. Like it just sounds like a bunch of other
Well,
songs. out there.
he's a John Bellion that blew up.
That's actually true. John
I
Bellion
like that.
did get big. All Time Low was a big song. You had
Yeah.
he had a lot of good features too. Like,
Great,
John
great
Legend
voice,
definitely
but just that's about it.
Well, another good, and his voice is like whatever, but what's his name? Pete Wentz, or not Pete Wentz?
Pete Wentz is from
He's the
Patrick
bass guy. Yeah.
Patrick Stump's the singer,
Fall Out
yeah.
Boy, great voice,
Great voice.
really good range. They
One of
they
the
have
few-
a great discography
One of the
of
few
music
bands
too.
where the face is not the front man. The face is Pete Wentz of that group.
Yeah, he's like the only bass player aside from maybe Flea
Gene-
from the Chili
or
Peppers. to
Gene
be-
Simmons, I think, is a
Yeah.
bass player too.
I guess
Yeah.
Paul McCartney too, but he was
Technically, they're all. I think the for the Beatles, I think the face is Lennon.
Yeah, I mean,
He's the one that was the most outspoken. He was always on the news.
he was definitely like the intellectual of the group. I think his voice is like decent. I think he did such a good job with the music side of it and the lyrics that he was able to like get away with. Because Paul McCartney is like, in my opinion, George Harrison was.
I love
but,
George Harrison.
but like for the like Paul McCartney's voice and consistency and everything, like he was kind of the one that made them like mainstream, in my opinion.
That's true. What are your thoughts on Imagine?
I mean, that song's amazing.
Amazing.
I love it. Yeah, it's at the same time it's a little slow. I think, especially for today's like music, it doesn't hit the same. Like people of our generation don't like respect that side of music as much anymore. I think during that time too, like I think for example, if a song like Imagine came out now with all the political discord and the climate of stuff, but it was like a more like, I don't know, electro version, whatever you want to call more modern shit, it would have a similar level of influence. But like when that song came out, it was like, you know,
Right smack dab in the Vietnam
the war, like there was so much shit going on that everyone's like, yeah, like we needed
Imagine
this.
was-
But yeah, it's pretty simple. I think it's a little
I think it's-
overrated.
I think New Year's killed it.
Like
New Year's.
New Year's Day or like
New Year's Eve. Saying like
Imagine.
because they play it
Oh,
in
do
New
they?
York every single year,
Oh,
right?
No,
before
I didn't
the
even know
I think
that.
when COVID hit and all those celebrities started like singing, like Gal Gadot started singing Imagine with a bunch of different like celebrities. I think that kind of ruined the reputation of the song because it basically had like a bunch of rich celebrities singing this song like in the time of COVID when they're all like living in their like luxury.
well, so
It's
like they've been
hypocritical ass
doing
shit.
that forever. Like
We
I
Are the
remember
World? Like, come
there
on.
was a Hurricane Katrina relief album that all the big stars did back in like the early 2000s.
Are you serious? I don't think. I've
Yeah,
heard
yeah, yeah. It's great. Like for example, someone does Hallelujah on that, and it's really good. Like Justin Timberlake does a great song on there. There's some really good like covers, but kind of going back to the point we were talking about with like Mr. Brightside or whatever other songs that get so big is they kind of get burnt out. Like I think certain ones like Imagine have aged not as well as others. Yeah, anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on that. But I mean,
Well-
this song, you got to give the song props. It's great.
absolutely.
And
but-
you know, the Killers are an indie legend. One of their big first albums was an independent album, and there's been a select few, probably about 20 or 30 or so, independently released albums to reach number one on the Billboard 200 album list.
yeah.
And since 1991, they've tracked this. Can you name 3 independently released albums to reach number one without striking out? You get 3 strikes, and we're going to go back and
I
forth
don't know,
between
what
you
do
two.
consider indie? Is
Well,
Independent
independently
means
released-
not with a record label.
like is the Strokes indie?
Well, no, it's specific. We'll go artist. An artist to reach number one,
Because my first guess.
releasing
probably
independent.
Bon Iver, Forever Ago. I don't know, but I don't even know if it's independent.
He is working with Kanye.
Strike one.
Strike one.
Nabong,
Let's go
your
with
first guess.
an easier one. Let's do Hot Fuss the Killer since we were talking about it. I think that album blew up.
Yeah,
It did not reach number one.
Did not reach number one.
It was a very popular. It was
What
up
was
there,
it
top
then?
10.
Sam's Town that reached?
Top 10. No, Killers never reached number one.
How about like Funeral by Arcade Fire?
That's a good. That's a good
It's an iconic indie
guess. I don't know if it's
We're doing just the artist.
album. Like Lumineers.
So that you are correct. The Arcade Fire
Is it The
released
Suburbs?
the Suburbs
Yeah.
independently, and it reached number one. So that's
Good album.
one.
Good
You have one strike and one correct. You have one strike. And no correct.
Maroon 5. I don't know if Songs About Jane was.
I don't know if that was
technically-
independent.
I think in a way that was independently released, and because that album took a while for it to really.
He knows so. Think of some of your favorite artists.
Radiohead. I mean,
Boom.
Is Radiohead indie?
Well, yeah, but like,
In Rainbows.
okay.
Oh, that's a technically. Yeah, I mean, if you want to count that, freaking Frank Ocean, Blonde is an indie album.
Boom. One correct.
So wait,
Another one correct.
so your definition of indies?
Chance the Rapper.
And
I
this
thought you
is
meant like it was produced not by a record label.
so these are released under independent records.
like Chance the Rapper.
Not a
Acid Rap.
subsidiary
Acid Rap was the
of
other one.
a
Coloring
major
Book.
label.
Or Big Day. Is it Chance the Rapper on the list?
Dude, talk about a fall off.
One of my favorite
Chance
artists of all
is
time.
not
though.
on the
like even
list.
like at his prime, like I
Think-
never
think-
looked up to someone more than
Think
Chance.
of some
Like,
of
I
the
Really?
groundbreaking
really, like,
genres
put him that high because
since
yeah,
'91.
Yeah, one of the biggest falls. That was a
You're
tragedy.
missing out on rap,
He hasn't released an
gentlemen.
album in
There's
6
a lot of
years.
independent rap.
Eminem. Marshall Mathers.
No, Dre was already signed.
That's true.
So think who signed him.
Macklemore the Heist.
Dr. Dre. Are we talking NWA?
Well, Macklemore, yeah.
Like they were part of our
NWA
they-
was
weren't they- But they
independent.
were a part of
Ruthless Records.
Ruthless Records was not a major label
I feel
So
like
is
I
that
just don't
indie?
understand the definition of
Technically.
the label thing.
because all these are released by record labels technically. Because someone has to make the records, gentlemen.
No, there's people who just.
Well, how do you think
Sounds-
NWA got their
people who
wax
just
pressed?
bootleg and just sell it
No,
off the
they
street.
go to a record company that makes records. That's where record labels came from. They were the ones who made the records.
Is Billie Eilish indie?
No.
Is Lana Del Rey indie?
I just feel like she didn't get
No.
top one with video. I mean, maybe with video.
She has
games.
a pretty diehard.
All right.
I love Lana.
Sounds like DeMong nailed 2. Couldn't get any other. We struck out a lot. I'll go down the list on naming some. Ice Cube, The Predator.
That's terrible. No, that
Bone
dude,
Thugs
are
and
you
Harmony.
serious? That is not an indie album. These are not indie albums. These are considered indie albums.
Well, Ruthless Records wasn't a major label.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but,
think. Well, I
like,
just think the definition that
It's
we're perceiving of what's
Ice Cube
considered.
was in movies, bro. Like Ice Cube.
No, that was before that for sure.
No, he was in Boys in the Hood, and then he did that. That was the same album. With It Was a Good Day. That like just was everywhere. That's indie. Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
What else?
Brand new science fiction.
Brand new.
XXX Tentacion
I
question mark.
actually love that album. Brand new.
Brand new.
Yeah.
You know what happened to the lead singer?
No.
So they got canceled because he got accused of like grooming a minor or something like that. And
R.I.P..
that kind of
Mm.
the band
Rip.
broke up after that.
What do you guys? I got an interesting take for you. What do you think of Never Shout Never?
What's never?
I'm
is that a band?
unfamiliar.
Yeah, the indie
Is that
guy.
the song? No. I think I have.
It's like he had a
Look at
bunch
that
of,
hair.
Like Here Goes Nothing. He was like the epitome
Look
of
at
like
that
the
hair.
indie like fuck boy, skinny jeans, no shoes, vest,
Ugh,
like emo straightened hair.
I want to throw up.
Yeah, he had some decent songs. They were very cheesy, but he was definitely a big influence in that early 2000s.
But did he get caught
2010s.
up in something? Is that what made you think of him?
I think he maybe had some scandal like that. But
you
he's still
just wanted to see our opinion. I don't know much about him. I
yeah.
don't think I can
He
name
was
your
that
song.
might be too deep of a cut. I'm trying to think. Who else?
What about
is-
like Taking Back Sunday?
Yeah.
Fall
What do you
Out Boy.
Did you ever listen to Skrillex's band?
Never his band.
From first to last?
I
From
got
first to
into
last.
I caught up to like
Oh, we
Scary
can-
Monsters and Sprites or whatever that album's called, like when it was coming out though, which was pretty cool.
How about Flume?
Oh yeah, dude. So when I was in like I want to say like sophomore or junior year of high school, when I just started to get into EDM was just starting to become like more mainstream. Like Scary Monsters, Sprites kind of like made it like that was when it was like, oh shit, like this stuff's getting really popular. And then it kind of branched off into less intense versions of that. And so when the Flume album dropped, I remember being like, holy shit, I've never heard songs like
What was that,
this.
2015?
No,
2013.
Probably like
2013.
2012, 2013. Yeah, because I was in. It was. I don't even think I was a senior in high school. And I remember I'd listen to that album cover to cover like every day, and it was so cool because like there was nothing else like it. There was a little like I think Calvin Harris was kind of coming out. He was a little more like mainstream, but Flume was like kind of indie when that first album came out initially.
I think they didn't hit their big break until Never Be Like You. I think that was like his big song, right?
They had
no,
a-
Holding
well, I think
On
it
was like had it.
I think
success.
you and Me was like
You and Me.
where they really that was like they came with the Flume album and
That
then
was
it's
just more disclosure, right?
some
Like, he just did a
period.
remix.
Yeah, but like some period like right after that album was when You and Me came out and that album or that song blew up. I saw Flume EDC 2015.
So lucky.
Wow.
Dude, that shit was insane.
I bet.
That was like at the peak
that was
of
back
it,
when he-
like on his come up, like wow.
Yeah, because like Never Be Like You
When
and
you
stuff
get
wasn't
fucked
even
up
out.
on stage.
That was right after. So that was when he dropped that Tennis Court by Lord remix. He played it at Coachella like the spring before or this like something like that, and then the following like years when I saw him, and that was an awesome show. I'm trying to think of other artists that were like, you know who like low key would kind of tread the path for a lot of these. RL Grime. RL Grime had a lot of good early shit. Zed's Dead.
What's So Not?
Bro, I just saw Zed's Dead like a month ago at Rawhide, and like I've been listening to Zed's Dead forever, and like I haven't listened to a lot of their new shit, and I kept seeing all these videos on TikTok of their new album, and it's a lot of like remixes of like kind of like old style songs. That was really one of the best shows I've ever been to in my life.
Like oldies or like old EDM?
Yeah,
songs?
like oldies. Like I mean, they have this cover of Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka that they do.
I've heard
that remix.
It is insane.
Is unbelievable. That's one of the coolest songs I've ever seen live. And they actually mix in Imagine from John Legend. or
Yes,
John
I
Lennon.
have seen that.
Yeah, super.
Well,
cool.
what I want to ask you is the debate on, do you call it EDM or dance music? Is EDM a genre?
Just
Or
go
is
dance music,
EDM
bro. Just
Because
go
some
dance.
people refer to EDM as everything that's electronic music.
Well, it's electronic dance music, or that's what I've always thought EDM stood for. I think EDM is kind
is
of
what
like,
it's-
I think it's like the equivalent to like rock.
Yes.
Where it's like then there's all these subcategories,
So many,
right? Like, or you could even argue like rap, right? Like
So
there's
many
like hip hop, like, and then R&B. You could argue those are different, or you could say it's all underneath that umbrella. But like for EDM, you got EDM, and then you've got like genres and subgenres of EDM. So it's kind of like everything that's made with electronic,
Well,
heavy
this
electronic.
this is the
production.
big European America debate, because here in America we call all electronic dance music EDM, and to the Euros, EDM is a specific genre of dance
Yeah.
music.
I
And
mean, it's a fact that Europeans are always wrong and Americans are always right.
Well, I think like, well, for example, like their taste in EDM is super different too. Like they fucking love techno music. Like we love house music. Like the U.S. loves house music.
We
I don't know.
invented house music. We're
I don't. Yeah,
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 we
Chicago.
invented
Like I don't know how. Like obviously all these DJs tour all over Europe and shit now.
New York
but like,
has entered the chat,
yeah,
because New York tries to have a little claim to house music, but
It's definitely
it's Chicago. It's from Chicago.
yeah. Like, but then like, all right, like this is where I get lost in the weeds. Like, what would you consider like a artist like ZZ? Are they
They make bass music, so
They're
they make
rhythm.
bass house.
bass house? And then tape B. What would you call
And they
that?
also, but they don't only make bass house; they make trap too. They make
Yes.
trap and
What would you
so
call-
ZZ makes multiple genres.
Exactly. I feel like a lot of
Well,
them do.
What would you
Not
call
all of
Moby
them.
or like Fatboy Slim or those guys?
Malpi,
No, Moby.
Moby, and Fatboy Slim, they come from the techno side of things.
Techno.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Well,
techno's
they're
completely different.
pioneers. Like,
Well, no,
they're
Fatboy
like,
Slim is house.
Dude, Moby is almost on like a Daft Punk level, bro.
Yeah,
Moby's
absolutely.
been around
He's
for
kind
a
of been viewed as a
fucking
joke in like the media.
while.
because he's just, like,
I don't love a lot of his shit,
So is
but
Fatboy.
like,
They both
yeah,
are.
yeah, for sure.
But I wouldn't put him up there with Daft Punk. I
No,
think
no,
are some
no,
of the
but I'm
greatest
saying, like,
artists of all
well,
time.
Da-
outside of EDM.
and I think for a lot of people, because like if you're a true like EDM head, like before I don't even have knowledge on what was before that, but yeah, Daft Punk I think like truly changed the game. Like, have you seen that I forget, it's like a documentary where they're talking about when they dropped that set of at like
2007.
yeah,
Alive.
like you know, and like that's technically EDM was started before 2007, but that's where it truly like was more of a production.
Well, that's where French house exploded.
Yeah.
And just like, and also they had this like future mindset on it at the time, where like the current state of dance music is currently.
Well, and they paved the way
It
for
just pushed, and now it's to a commercial extreme in a way.
yeah.
But
Well, you know who I fuck with though? Like, I know he's selling out more and more, but he kind of stays true to like I like John Summit. Like, I don't think he's like the best, but like for like a very mainstream guy, I like that he still like will kind of get down at his sets. Like, you know who I was really impressed with that I saw live while they were in their peak of like kind of selling out to shittier, like more sing-along song pop music was the Chainsmokers. Because
They started out with Selfie,
dude.
Selfie was their breakthrough.
Well, but the Chainsmokers, they started out really heavy, trap. Then they went straight huge, like Baby, Pull Me Closer, all this shit, right? And right when that stuff was big, I saw them at like Decadence when I was in college. And I was like, it was the last set of the night. I was like, fuck this. I don't want to hear this shit. And they started throwing the fuck down, like all trap music. Super, like I loved it. A lot of the audience was like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, that's what Chainsmokers is. Like, what's the other one I like? Hippie Sabotage. They make some really unique shit.
what do you
too.
think about A-Track? I think he's one of the greats of all time, especially coming from America. Like, definitely have to put Skrillex up there, and I think you have to put A-Track because, like, he, like Heads a Roll is this gigantic song, but like he's stayed true, a guy that stayed true to his sound.
Yeah,
like I'd say Skrillex has done the same thing, that like doesn't unwavering to their sound.
Yeah,
like all these greats, like the Dead Mouses, the Skrillex, the Daft Punks, like when you put one of their songs on, you know it's by them.
Yes, but I also think what separates like the greats from the ultra greats too, like Daft Punk, for example, right? When they came out with Random Access Memories, that shit was different.
That's their best album.
And that album's phenomenal. But that almost had like
and
they were really
album.
smart
It's
to get Pharrell involved in it, right?
Yeah.
Because like he added like a little bit of like R&B flair to it.
They brought disco back to the mainstream.
So
Nile
like
Reba,
for example, like A-Track, I think has stayed too in that same lane, which like I respect. Like
with Duck Sauce, like he's a part of Duck Sauce.
Okay, yeah, like Duck Sauce, like
is that Barbra Streisand?
yeah, exactly.
No, they don't make music like that anymore.
Barbra Streisand.
But that's okay. Going back to what we're talking about is like when I hear Duck Sauce, that's what I think of.
Yeah,
like that's
a
I
one-hit
like,
wonder, bro. Come
well,
on.
I don't know if I'd say
their new stuff is so hammered.
I mean, yes, but like it just depends on like what level of like notoriety we're talking, I guess, too, because like I don't think like the average EDM listener, or even like a EDM listener that would like myself, that's like I'm not super deep in it, but like I'd like think I know more than the average person. Like I don't know a lot of Duck Sauce's new shit, but
yeah,
I'm going to go listen to it because you recommend it.
It's so good.
And
well, also another lore thing I'll add to the A-Track thing that I wanted to bring up. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go for it.
Is that he also, when Kanye was like doing one of his first major tours, he was the DJ. He's from Chicago.
Yeah.
Respects house heavily. Like I just feel like he's like a guy that doesn't get mentioned.
Yeah, he definitely
that
doesn't
should
get
be
enough love.
hailed in the kind of the greats of like garnering his
Because I
sound.
don't know, besides Head Will Roll, like what are some of the biggest songs he's made?
Oh, so Barbra Streisand, More Life.
Okay, so he definitely has some hits.
Wait, I think was that the Axwell remix that he did, or the A-Track remix of More Life?
That's a crazy song, Head Will Roll in itself. The Yeahs, that's an indie band, right? They kind of
Yeahs are pretty.
Karen O is like a low key singer.
And like they came together like that.
Yeah.
That is cool. I
and
did.
now Max just got ruined by TikTok. It's a great song though, but yeah, I mean, fucking Head Will Roll just went from.
They killed it by adding that in Project X. That album, that
Pursuit of
soundtrack,
Happiness,
dude.
the Steve Aoki version.
Yeah, Steve Aoki.
Till the break of
Not
time,
a big
bro.
fan, but same time, like, gotta give the guy some
Trouble on
fucking
My
credit.
Mind was on that. I forgot what else was
I've
on
seen
that.
him live. It was so mid. But he's got a lot of hits out there. Like, you know what song I loved when it came out? It was very basic, but I loved Titanium.
by
With
David
Sia.
Guetta.
That was like,
That's a great song to bring up because I think Sia was that was at a point where
She wasn't
Sia was
super
an
big yet.
Sia's kind of an indie legend. Like before, she had an indie run. People forget she was an indie. Like
You're shaking your head, Jack. You don't agree?
No.
Look at her discography. She had like 6 albums before she got big, and they were all like independently released. She has a song like let me pull it up. She
I
had her
didn't know
whole
this.
run, and then like she would actually show her face then, and then she started working with Sia, and then she became a big songwriter in the music
As
industry.
soon as
Yeah.
she hit her face.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
that's when she hit her face. She wrote Diamonds by
She hit her face.
hit like
Oh,
like,
hit.
hide
I
her
thought
face.
that was why she hid her
No.
face. I thought she like hit her face.
Yeah,
I was
she
like,
hit her
oh no
face to
way.
hit her face.
I was like, that makes a lot more
Yeah,
sense.
but Sia definitely had like she was a respected musician who had like many albums before she got big in pop. So like it's kind of crazy.
She
yeah.
was kind of lurking a lot of features in the background before she blew
Flo
up.
Rida, Wild Ones.
Hey, I mean, like, you know, speaking of Flo Rida, like, you know, not my cup
All
of
of
tea,
his
but
remixes.
bro, like that whatever that
cried.
one album is with like all the shit on it, like Club Can't Handle Me, like
Ooh, Cocaine,
bro,
you can
like
handle me
there was a
right
period
now.
where every kid at a bar mitzvah was losing their shit to that fucking album. Like if you actually, you know who loves that album is Harry, dude. Or he did when he was a kid. Like there were some bangers on that one for sure.
I just want to show you, yeah, look, Sia has like several albums before she hits it big with her like big like cheap thrills. So she's been around.
Okay.
This is the song I like. The Girl You Lost to Cocaine. And
Is
she-
this Apple Music?
Yeah.
Dude.
You got a
What?
trans.
That's crazy. You don't use Spotify?
Yeah.
Spotify. I don't
I've
touch
asked.
Spotify.
Yo,
I've
you
used
probably
it since
have it-
09.
I think you get more information through Spotify. That's the one thing I'm missing. Like,
Yeah.
like the streams, like we don't get stream counts here. The only thing that they do on the computer is they show you how many times you listen to a song, and I actually fucking love that. But other than
Yeah.
that,
No, Spotify is better. Well, so dude,
got used to Apple
as an iTunes kid growing up, where I fucking have this, I literally had
exactly why
I had a
use Apple
library of
Music
like
because of iTunes.
10,000 songs, every
Same.
single one perfectly allocated, and I still have that on my phone. Like, yeah, I have it, but that's in my like downloaded music, like on the little music app from iTunes, just so I always have access to that. But I eventually made the move to Spotify, and the reason's straightforward because it's like, I also love like the playlists they have generally. Like, I don't
Apple
listen to
Music
as
does the
much
same
rap
thing.
music as I used to, and like I find a lot of shit on like even the basic like Rap Caviar. Like I'll find shit on there all the time that I wouldn't have listened to before. I like the playlists that users make a lot too. Like,
Yes.
have you heard the playlist Levitate on Spotify before?
Yeah, I don't know if that is.
It's great. It's honestly, it's got a good mix of everything. A lot of major artists, like it's got like Frank Ocean and all sorts of different shit. But I found it when I was like looking to get on an airplane and just listen to some like music that is good for when you're flying. It was perfect. And it's always being updated and added.
My like kind of playlist that gets updated every week is New House Music Friday by this guy Ben Dukes. Just I don't know if he's like tapped into the industry somehow, because sometimes he'll release song or like have songs on the playlist that aren't like available in the US yet,
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's-
Like it's like grayed out. So like that fact that he is either European and is adding that and has access to it, or is just like in the
Yeah.
industry somehow. But like it's always just like the best curated list of like what came out that week, like that Friday, because house music or EDM music, I don't know, it's probably all music
Yeah.
comes out on Fridays.
Well, most of the good stuff, yeah. Well, on that, this is a good segue. SoundCloud, right? So I don't, I don't subscribe to SoundCloud, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of where like a lot of the forefront of a lot of this shit starts, like, or did for a long time in the 2010s, right? And like, there's some SoundCloud artists that blew up, and I don't think their longevity has stayed around as much. But like, if you look at like, I don't know what, like Lil Peep,
Yeah.
like Like, a lot
Ski
of those-
Mask, the Slump God,
Yeah.
XXX Tentacion.
Well,
Yeah.
my favorite that actually did end up having a big career was Denzel Curry. He was a big
Yeah.
SoundCloud artist.
Yeah,
when he
I'd
started.
say X's career was way bigger.
Oh yeah, obviously X was bigger. But
You know
he
what's-
didn't live as long.
You know what's sad though that I
that.
am guilty of too when it comes to like those kind of artists that like came out with like an album or two and then like died like young tragically, is the amount of notoriety they get post-mortem.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
about to bring that
'cause,
up.
like,
I was
to-
literally about
to-
to bring that
The
up.
to, like-
ethics of posthumous albums is
Yeah.
so fucked up. What they did with all these artists that they just
What were you about to say?
Well, so like this is kind of crazy. Like, and I definitely used to like dance and listen to their music in college. Like, for example, like all that they were all fucking kicking the bed when like I was like in college, right? Like Lil Peep, he OD'd in Tucson
Yeah.
while I was at
Well,
U of A.
What
I
I
was
want
there.
to say about that is like me
like
and
5 minutes away.
my homies.
Yeah.
We listened the fuck out of Lil Peep. He wasn't a huge artist at the time.
You listened to
and then
Lil Peep?
as soon, fuck ton before
You
he
were a
blew.
Lil Peep fan?
Yes, I'd listen to Hellboy all the
I
time
never
before.
heard of him until he died.
No, yeah, and
I knew of
that's
him.
the
He
thing.
wasn't my cup of tea, but stargazing is phenomenal.
I almost had this like pretentious grudge about all these people
Yeah.
discovering Lil Peep after he died. I was like, bro, we've been on this shit.
Yeah.
Like,
You
I
got
was
your
like,
gatekeeping.
which
You
now,
got the gatekeeping, I
well,
get it.
looking back on it, it like, yeah, that was kind of like a fucked up perspective.
No,
probably
I definitely
have a
have
little
had
bit,
that,
but I was like, it was just like, it was definitely. I was sad he was like died or whatever because like definitely would want to hear more music by him.
So I was guilty of that with X, which is crazy because X is way bigger now. Like when I basically I heard a few songs on like at parties and whatever, and I was like, like he sounds good, like, but I like kind of refused to listen to him because it was that whole scandal with like him shoving the thing in the girl's vagina, like
didn't even know
just
anything
like beating
about
the
this.
shit out of his
What the fuck?
girlfriend, like all this stuff. I was like, I don't like these new age kids, like I don't care about this. And then like right after he died, like the song "Sad" like
It
went
hits a lot
everywhere, and I
harder,
was like,
like-
holy
It hits a
fuck.
lot.
And then I listened to like both those albums, like Jocelyn Flores, like all these
Incredible song.
crazy, like, because that's not
Infinity
even
with Joey
rap
Badass?
music. Like it's like, yeah,
It's almost
like,
alternative.
yeah,
It's
it was
with
like
the-
fuck,
It's like, early Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
with the rappy kind of.
yeah. No,
guitar.
I loved those albums from X. After you know who was another one that like I just didn't even really listen to. Like it wasn't like I was going on my way not to, but that I like think was, or he had like 4 or 5 bangers on that main album, was Pop Smoke, dude. Pop Smoke with like What You Know About Love or whatever that song's called, and like all the songs on that album, those are fucking bangers. And
I don't think I've heard that. Yeah. I
oh
gotta check
dude,
it out.
Pop Smoke, that whole whatever that album is called, great.
You know what artists I am guilty of, where I think I started liking them a lot more after they died. This can sound fucked up, but Mac Miller.
Oh dude, fuck you.
Mac Miller, when he was alive, I thought he was a fine artist. I thought like he was an above average white artist. He had a lot to fight against, but I thought he made good enough music. When he got like to Swimmings, I didn't initially really like that album when it came out because I was like, oh, he's a little whiny on this. Like, why does he sound? And then he passes away. And then when you hear this music in context, and then you do a little bit dig deeping in like his personal life and like
Right.
what he was going through at that time. People forget he just got a drug driving arrest like a month before he passed away. He was actually supposed to be on trial if he was still alive. He
Yeah.
could have gone to jail, but that kind of got glossed over.
Well, I don't give a fuck about that, honestly. Like, that sounds bad, but no, I mean, like, he was one of those ones. I was almost like you, where like I was listening to like, Cold Pizza and Kool-Aid like in high school, like early on, and then like Blue Slide Park was like his first big one.
Donald Trump and Knock
Yeah.
Knock were my big tracks.
Yeah. And well, he did a good job of evolving too, though. Like I
Yes,
think
absolutely.
watching movies with the lights on or whatever is phenomenal.
Great, very like great
Dark.
production.
I
Great
liked you
production.
could kind of almost hear. It's sad, but you could hear him get more fucked up as the albums came through, and then he kind of like come
Good
out
AM
of it.
was like he was pretty like he had songs like The Weeknd, 100 Grandkids, like I don't know, he kind of got
Good
better every
AM's a
album.
good album.
And we were kind of like you saw what Circles, I think that's what the album was, and that album was great, and
That's so good.
we kind of like missed out.
He
on what
came
could
out with
have
a
been.
lot of great albums in a very short span of time,
did.
like less than a decade.
Yeah.
Like realistically, and yeah, I mean, in some ways, like obviously it's tragic. Obviously, I wish that didn't happen, but I think it in some ways did help him grow
It helped his legacy, I'll tell you.
Yeah, not that that's the way to like go about it, but
really
yeah.
morbid. Like I think it cemented his legend. I think he's now a legend now.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, and like, this might be a little controversial too, but it's like, I don't know how the bar is for white rappers. There's very few of them versus like everyone else. Like seriously, name like 5
It's
white
because
rappers
hip-hop is just
that's
such a
not
certain
Eminem
culture.
and Mac Miller.
You got Macklemore, who had a big run. Vanilla Ice had
Nah,
his big
dude,
run.
fuck Macklemore.
Iggy Azalea, but they're all short-lived runs. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Jack Harlow even
I
had a
mean,
short-lived run.
No, Jack Harlow's still doing his thing. Like, I would argue he's like at least at the same caliber as like Iggy was.
In her
like,
peak.
back
Because in her
in the
peak, she was
day.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Fancy was everywhere. Black Widow, like they had a lot of big songs. Other than that,
Wait, I got one for you. So, do you know who Young Martyr is?
no.
Okay, so he's this kid from Melbourne, Australia. I followed
Okay.
him on TikTok, and he's got like I don't know, like 400,000 followers. He's not like small. He's definitely like getting bigger right now, but he's very interesting. That's what I was listening to when I pulled up earlier. But he's got a
Okay.
couple cool songs. Like his big song, I think, is called 50K, and he talks about how he had to pay $50,000 in taxes. And he's like just talking shit to the IRS like the whole time, which I thought was pretty cool. And then he's got
Is he
another.
more of a lyrical rapper, would you say? Or is
Yeah,
he,
I would say slightly, but he's got a good flow. Like, definitely worth a listen. I don't even think he's come out with an album. He just has like a few like really solid songs.
Okay.
But he kind of almost mimics like some of the like 80s, 90s like more hood rap.
Which
Even though
is
he's like a
that's
white
my-
Australian guy. He's
that's
like a
my-
fat white Australian guy, which I love.
That's my John Wayne is kind of like Action Bronson, like is like that.
Yeah, I like Action Bronson too. Yeah, he is kind of a little bit like Action Bronson in that sense. I think he's lyrically pretty solid too.
And you kind of have to be. It's not about being a good like artist. You got to be a likable person too. People like Riff Raff. People love Riff Raff.
Yeah, dude, I can't stand that fucking guy.
You can't say Riff Raff is funny. I think he gets overrated.
I've known some people that love Riff Raff.
Freaking Ricker had like a whole poster of Riff Raff on his wall.
I like you know who I like, and I think he's hilarious because he fucking owns it, is DJ Khaled.
DJ
I
Khaled?
think
Oh.
he is. I think his rap is terrible. When he raps, it's not great. But like his
It's rare
ability,
when he raps.
his ability to bring great artists together and come out with good shit. Like, dude, that
Who
song.
else
hasn't
can do
done
that?
anything
Who
a
else
lot.
can do that though? Who else could bring Lil Wayne, Justin Bieber, Chance the Rapper, Quavo,
Bro,
all together? Who
Pop
could-
star, Drake, and fucking Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
That song's sick.
That is.
Like
DJ Khaled, who could bring Wild Wild Thoughts? Like
he
bring
does a
Rihanna
yeah.
on the track?
I think he's
Kanye West does have that ability.
Yeah, but DJ
All of the
Khaled
lights.
does it in a way where he doesn't
that was
have
a long
to do
time ago
anything.
though. Dude,
DJ
Kanye is like I mean he's phenomenal. Like don't get me wrong,
He's
I
my
love
number
his
one.
music.
He's my killers, bro.
Well, I mean like for example,
It's
I
super
what I
controversial.
can't stand is when people can't separate the art from the artist. Like Michael Jackson, phenomenal person or phenomenal
R.
artist,
Kelly's
terrible
really hard.
person.
R. Kelly's really hard. I can't listen to R. Kelly.
I also don't love R. Kelly. Like his music, he's got a few
Trapped
great
in the
songs.
Closet, man. I just listened
Yeah.
to Trapped in the Closet. That was pretty fun.
He's got a few great songs, but like, dude,
All
for
of it?
example,
Not all of it, just like
Michael Jackson's the greatest pop star of all time, and I fucking love Michael Jackson's music. he's a
what's your favorite
terrible
era
person.
of Michael Jackson?
I like Bad. Like I don't even love the song Bad. I love that whole album.
that era, Band in the Mirror and all that.
Yeah.
Ours is Off the Wall. We agreed like Off the Wall is better than
Yeah,
Thriller.
that's his best album.
I think
Yeah?
that's his best album.
I
It's
like
more
that
disco,
too.
R&B.
Yeah.
It's more traditional sounding. It's not as like
Yeah.
out there because I think Bad is it's like one step away from being really cringe. Same with like Thriller or
Yeah.
like Beat It. Like Michael Jackson trying to act tough. Can he pull it off? I mean, a lot
Not
of people
really.
say he did. I don't know. With that high pitched voice, is it really like
No,
can you,
yeah.
can you call yourself bad? But like when he does songs like PYT,
Rock With
You,
You. Oh,
like when
Rock
he just
With
gets
You.
like
Rock With
just
You's
just
great.
Motown R&B, it's just like
Yeah.
that's where you're best at.
Dude, all right. I will die on the hill that Trilogy is The Weeknd's best album. I think that album. It's like 20 songs.
Pretty good.
It's dark. It's sad. It's like got some still like cool bangers on it.
Trilogy is not
Starboy's
technically an
my
album.
favorite.
Starboy is probably the most popular.
Because of
answer.
Daft Punk. Is it because of Daft Punk?
Yeah.
No, Starboy is a great album too. He's fucking he drives me nuts though. Like that Super Bowl performance is fucking horrendous. Like
It was just boring. It was
He was just
boring.
off cocaine. He just like Bruno Mars. He's a known fucking.
Bruno Mars had a great performance. People forget about his performance. He
Yeah.
was playing in the drums at the beginning, like going off on the drums.
Bruno Mars is like arguably like one of the most talented singers of our generation.
He's
I'd say
my
one of the
favorite-
greatest pop stars
He's
of
my,
all time.
he's my favorite pop. He's probably my like in our era.
Doo-wops and
I think
hooligans.
he's top
Bro,
five pop
Overhated.
star.
Dude,
count on
phenomenal.
Me. Like just the way you are. You had
Talking to the moon,
Talking
dude.
to the
That's like
Moon.
one of the best
Dude,
love
how about
songs
Liquor
ever
Store
fucking
Blues?
written. Yeah,
Stand
Liquor
in that-
Town, Liquor Town
Store
Blues.
Blues is a big.
Yeah, I'd say 10, 15 years from now, we're gonna hail Bruno in the echelon
That album
of
deserves
the
a
mic.
rephrasal because the album has like.
Can I
really-
finish a fucking statement?
Alright, sorry.
You keep talking over me, motherfucker. I'm about to make a statement. Like, I think he's, and then boom, you come in.
Yeah, it's off. It's off.
No, you don't have to turn it off. I'm just saying.
Finish.
Okay,
finish your
I
statement.
think in 10 to 15 years, we will see Bruno Mars and put him in the echelon of the Michael Jacksons.
Yeah.
Of like the greatest pop star.
I mean, Michael Jackson will stand alone on that hill, I think.
It's hard
Prince.
because he copied a lot of what Michael Jackson
dude.
did.
Prince does not get enough love, not even for his music, which I'm not
Prince
like.
or Michael Jackson?
Bro, Prince is one of the greatest fucking guitarists ever. It's not even fucking
He's
close.
not even the greatest guitar. He's one of the greatest multi-instrumentalists.
No, dude. His
This dude-
guitar, I'm talking straight guitar as a guitarist.
Yeah.
Bro, have you seen him do While My Guitar Gently
Yeah,
Weeps?
yeah, they did the
Holy
tribute stuff.
fucking
He's like,
shit.
Yeah, he
Dude.
goes off on that shit. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like, and same thing. Like, he's got some songs that'll be great forever, Purple Rain, all that shit. Like, I don't love his music. Like, but same time, you gotta respect the game. He's
Yeah.
He's
He's released a lot.
He's
He has like
insane.
30 albums or something like that. And he released music up until his death. Like he was releasing albums like every other year. Just
Yeah.
I'm
But-
curious if you know the guitarist Derek Trucks.
Derek Trucks. What band?
He played with the Allman Brothers towards the end. He was a part of Tedeschi Trucks band.
No?
Anyways, I think he's like there's some like unsung heroes like people know like Stevie Ray Vaughan or like the Hendrix or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Derek Trucks is like silently one of the greatest guitarists of all time.
that's an interesting take because you recently just discovered him, right?
Yeah, you kind of showed me, and then I've kind of did a deep dive on
I
his
didn't know
career,
that.
and like, he like was on stage with BB King and John Mayer,
Wow.
and just having them both like, kind of like, like this.
Yeah, that's pretty
Is-
sick.
Like that speaks volumes.
Very
John
impressive.
Mayer is like
Right?
our generation's greatest
Yeah.
guitarist.
I think John Mayer is like honestly nowadays like very underrated. Like he had his
Because
time
people,
where he was
because
big.
the Swifties just made
I think
the
he's
public
right.
turn against him and made him look like a complete asshole, which he could be. Who knows?
But once again, I don't give a fuck if these artists literally kill people. Like
No,
people
no,
listen
that
to
might be-
21 Savage. He's great. He's not a good person. He fucking has killed people. But
Snoop Dogg's not a good. He's been to jail.
Kanye West is a Nazi. Like, I still will bump Graduation until I'm 10 fucking feet under. Like, you know,
but
that's
he made Graduation.
But he
That's
made
the big
that's
meme.
the
That's the
joke.
big
That's
meme
the
on mine.
but,
Is
but
Buddy
even
made
Life
Graduation.
of Pablo is probably my favorite album of his.
Oh, that album's
Like,
weak as hell. but
I
okay.
think Life of Pablo has these songs on it that are so different and so unique.
the Life of Pablo. There's a lot of bands that start with the. I want to take a quick
Yes,
break.
good
real
segue.
quick, and come up and draft the greatest the bands.
All right. So we're going to draft the artist. It's got to start with the word the and whatever artist is that. So, Reed, since you're our guest, I'll let you take the first selection.
Yeah, the Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones over the Beatles? I'll take the Beatles.
I thought we weren't doing the Beatles.
Then the Beach Boys.
Wait, why aren't we doing the Beatles?
I thought that was stipulated before we made the list.
I was like anticipating taking the Beach Boys. I didn't hear the stipulation.
All right, well, I didn't, but yeah. That's
Do you
fine.
want to take the Beatles instead?
No, I'll stick with the Rolling Stones.
All right.
I think that's fair.
Okay. So, Rolling Stones, Beach Boys, Beatles.
The Beatles.
Okay. What's your second?
My second pick is going to be the Supremes.
Okay. Going R&B.
Mm-hmm.
My second overall pick, I'll keep it a little more modern. Should I just take your band?
Depends. I thought they were a one-hit wonder, bro.
Yeah. This guy never even
I'll
liked
take a
him. He's
band that
gonna
I
be
think is a little
drafting
bit
him.
better than that. I'm gonna take the Strokes.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that. That was on my list. Give me The Who.
Oh, and you get another.
damn
Oh,
it.
Damn! How did I miss out
God
on the
damn
Who?
you. God damn
That's
you.
like my favorite band,
I'm
bro.
gonna fuck you up even more. Ready? The Doors.
Oh,
You got the Doors. Yeah, you got the Doors.
Fuck you.
I'll take the Temptations.
I like that.
God damn it. You guys have really put me in a corner here. I'm gonna take. Fuck you guys. The Smashing Pumpkins.
You
Okay.
get another one.
And I'll also take. The Smiths.
Nice.
That was a great
yeah,
pick.
That's a good pick.
I was thinking of that. I'm gonna go into the production side of things. I'm gonna take the Neptunes.
The Neptunes. Okay.
Pharrell and Chad Hugo.
I'm gonna take the Notorious B.I.G.
Good pick. Good pick.
and
Nice. That was a good pull.
So what number are you on? Are you on fourth?
That was a really
Fifth?
good
I
pull.
don't even know. what
So
I'm
you
on.
you picked the Rolling Stones,
So I picked
the Who.
Stones, the Who, the Doors, and I guess. Well, B.I.G. I'm missing one more that I.
Oh, Biggie. You picked Biggie.
Wait, yeah.
And then your
here,
last
here,
one,
Let me
yeah.
write this down real quick. So,
So it was Stones and the Doors,
Stones, Doors.
and then it was the Who, or maybe it was Stones, Who, then the Doors.
It was Who Doors, because you got two back to back there.
Yeah.
Who Doors, and then who'd you just pick?
I picked the Notorious B.I.G.
Even though he's mostly called Biggie, but yeah, the Notorious.
No, that's his name, the Notorious
And then,
B.I.G.
am I snaking? Do I get another one here? Or
You
no?
got your final pick.
All right. I'm gonna go with.
Do you want to just go till we drop? Don't stop till we drop.
Keep going.
Yeah.
How
that's
many
fine.
the bands can you name?
Yeah, shit. I've
Well-
got a lot then. I'll just take the Killers. No one took them.
Okay. And then who do you have so far, Nabong? Just so we can get caught
I
up.
have the Beach Boys, the Strokes, the Neptunes. Who's my fourth pick?
No, your third pick.
Who was my
The
third?
fourth pick was your Neptunes.
My third pick was the Strokes. No, the
Temptations.
The Temptations. Yes, the Temptations. My fifth pick. We're gonna. Are these guys reggae? The Police?
The
The
Police
Police.
was a good answer.
Are they reggae?
I wouldn't call them reggae,
Yeah.
but they've got
They-
a reggae flair.
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
got reggae influence.
Police
definitely.
is a great answer.
And
Cash.
who have I done so far? I've done the Beatles.
You did the Smiths too, right?
Beatles, yeah. The Smiths was my most recent pick. The Smiths.
You
Who
did
el-
the Supremes.
The Supremes.
Diana Ross. Got to give your Motown pick.
Who else did I?
You choose a band.
You-
The Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing
Good
Pumpkins.
memory.
And then my next pick. Should I do two back to back?
We'll make
we're
it
gonna
6.
keep going. Or no, we're just gonna keep going. So we're
Okay.
gonna keep snaking till we
How,
can't.
how,
no
how,
more.
how, how deep of a pull can we make?
Well, the next one I think I'm just gonna steal the draft with this one is the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, nice.
No,
if-
no. Take that. That's bullshit. They're not They're Wu-Tang Clan. They're
I don't know
Wu-Tang
what
Clan.
the official.
They're Wu-Tang Clan.
name
That's
is there.
not. I
Might need,
wouldn't.
might need
no.
a live audit on that.
Nah, I'm not
Fair.
counting that. That's a flag on the play. I'm sorry.
That is a flag on the play. I thought it was the Wu-Tang Clan. Often referred to as the Wu-Tang Clan.
But it's not officially the Wu-Tang Clan. It's Wu-Tang Clan.
Fair. All right. Well, I have to.
I might have to steal the draft actually if you don't take this guy, this group.
Oh, god damn. Well, this is fucked because like so many of the things I wrote down were just like absolutely. What are you doing? I can hear all that.
Yeah, it's doing feedback.
Yeah,
Like what?
We can
When
hear
you
that
hold
when
the
you
mic
rub
by
the
the-
mic.
Yeah.
Shit, my
When you rub the part that picks up the feedback.
My bad.
Anyways, you guys like all took so many artists that
5, 4, 3.
If you're not gonna pick
2.
that, okay, just take
Uh,
the Weekend. I don't know, make it easy.
Yeah, I'll just take the Weekend.
Okay, I'm gonna take The Cure.
The Cure is a good pick.
Fuck you.
I
I get two back to back.
I thought that was your back-to-back.
yeah.
No. Oh, the Smiths or no. I wanted to pick the Wu-Tang Clan, but you didn't let me. So then I picked the Weekend instead.
then you get
so I
another
do
one.
get another pick, and I'll take the Cure.
What the hell?
Sniped.
Should I just go with our generation? We'll go with The Neighborhood.
Neighborhood's a good pick.
This is actually in the top 10 most streamed songs.
Sweater
Like,
weather.
It's Sweater Weather is number like 7.
I believe that. That
Crazy.
song's phenomenal.
Crazy. It is a phenomenal song.
I'm gonna go with, and I'm assuming we're not gonna count Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm
not
the
counting.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm gonna go with. Someone said the Kinks already.
No.
The Kinks.
Wow.
And then I'm also gonna go with the Cranberries.
Cranberries. What? They were like a 3-hit wonder, man.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. The Cranberry. You said the Kinks. You ever heard of the Kooks?
Mm-hmm.
I'll do the Kooks.
Kooks is a good band.
Yeah.
I like the Kooks. Australian.
Yep. All right, Jack.
Let's go. The Offspring.
I was on. Yeah. I think that
Nice.
might be the last one I could think of.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that is a good one. Show me how to lie better.
And let's go the XX.
Oh, nice pick.
What kind of genre is the XX?
Alternative indie.
But
I've
Jamie
seen him
XX is like
He
a pure
so the
DJ.
XX is Jamie XX, and then there's two singers, and one's a guitarist, one's a bass player.
okay, but
The
they all
XX is
call
the three of
themselves like their name.
Their
the
group
XX.
together was the XX, and they disbanded for a while, and Jamie XX did his own thing, and then I think they got
Yeah, he had a pretty slept on album, right? You think that album kind of got flew? He came out last year. He released an album.
I didn't hear his
Treat
newest
each
one.
other right. You know that song, Jack? Yeah. That. Well. Anyway, I'm going to draft. We haven't stepped into EDM yet. I'm going to take the Chainsmokers.
All right, I'm gonna take the Fray,
That's a funny thing.
and I'm also gonna. I think this might be a sleeper in the draft too. Is the Goo Goo Dolls?
Ooh, the both sleepers. Both sleepers. Oh my god.
That is a sleeper.
All right. Okay. This one, this might be a bit of a cop out, but it technically
What?
counts. The Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Yeah, that counts.
That's kind of a cop out.
How about the Animals?
What,
The Animals is fine.
No, on my program, Jimi Hendrix is Jimi Hendrix.
Well, on my program, it's the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
So, and I think mine. Google what's Wu-Tang Clan on yours?
It's Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I think I'm gonna smash this pick. These next two, I'm gonna go the Black Keys,
Oh, nice.
Oh wow, that
Nice.
was a.
and I'm gonna go The Game.
Yeah,
Nice.
hip hop. Bring it back to hip hop.
Nice.
Let's go with the are these guys indie? The 1975.
Yeah.
I was about to write
That's a
that
great
down.
pick. I'm gonna go with the Decemberists.
Nice,
Wow,
good
we're-
pull.
these are pulls.
And,
These
I
are
love that
pulls.
and I'm gonna go with the National. I fucking love the
Yeah,
National.
wow. Damn. So this group, they've been actually going pretty viral lately. What they've been doing is they've been like putting like live free shows in their backyards. The All American Rejects.
Yes, I did see
Yeah.
that. I did see that.
It's
That
kind
was
of cool. And then you see other artists are like saying like we're gonna copy. Like I see on TikTok a lot of artists are trying to do
Yeah.
that, and that's kind of becoming a.
He was on, the lead singer was on Part of My Take recently.
Part of my take.
Yeah, Barstool. It's a
Oh, no.
podcast on part.
It's a wildly popular podcast
Yeah.
by the
Not as
Barstool-
popular. Not as popular as this podcast.
No,
I was
I know
gonna say,
this
it
podcast-
is literally like it's like there with like Joe Rogan and like Caller Daddy. It's up there.
Caller Daddy's definitely bigger than, but it's
Do
up
you
there.
watch podcasts?
And but so is
I
Joe.
listen to them sometimes when I'm driving.
Do you have any like
Theo's-
preferred?
I mean, like super basic. I used to listen to a lot of Joe Rogan. There's a true crime podcast I like a lot called Morbid.
I have two
Let's hear 'em.
fantastic picks.
Okay, let's hear him.
I'm gonna go with The Cars.
Nice.
The
and
Cars?
The Cars.
The Band.
Oh, the
Cars.
band. I'll bring it back to R&B. We'll do the OJs.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with the Velvet Underground.
I already picked them.
Did you? Fuck.
Didn't
Did
I?
you? No, I don't
Oh,
think you did.
I didn't.
Yeah,
oh, I
no,
meant to pick them.
Yeah,
Fuck
take,
me.
take the Velvet Underground.
The
Yeah.
Velvet
God
Underground.
damn it! I thought I already picked them.
And then I'm gonna. Did someone do the Kills already?
The
No.
Kills is different from the Killers?
Yeah.
They're
The
two different
Kills.
bands?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Off With Your Head, right?
You did.
Are we counting the Doobie
What was
Brothers?
I did the Velvet Underground.
Google it. Is it the Dewey Brothers?
It
I
looks like-
meant with the Fray. You did two. It was Fray and what?
Did the Fray and the Kinks.
Goo Goo Ball? Oh yeah, Kings or Google Dolls or whatever.
Oh, the Goo Goo Dolls, maybe. I don't know which one you wrote down before.
Yeah.
Should probably-
Let's do one more each.
All right.
One more each. Okay. Whose turn is it?
It's
It's your turn.
My turn. All right. We'll do my generation or our generation. The Lumineers.
Nice.
Okay. I'll go the Isley Brothers.
Hey.
Okay. There's a lot of the brothers.
Is that me?
Mhm.
Are we not snaking this time?
Oh, we're not snake.
Well, I think we're just doing one final pick each.
Yeah, let's just do
Yeah.
one final pick.
I will do the Verve.
Yeah.
Oh.
What? Yeah. What about the internet? What
The
about
internets. Well, I just kind of want to name off some that we missed.
Yeah, what
Uh,
did we miss?
the Ronettes? The Alchemist?
The Alchemist. That was actually the Roots.
The Monkeys.
Oh,
we
the
forgot the
Roots was a good
Roots.
one.
That
I got
hurts.
the Monkeys.
The Academy is.
I
the
thought
The
about.
Academy.
I
the
thought about the
Airborne
Roots.
Toxic Event is pretty good.
The 88.
Dude,
The-
All
the
American
Animals.
Rejects in like the second to last round was pretty solid.
How can we
Yeah.
forget the animals? House
I
of
did
the
mention the
Rising
animal. I mentioned the animals. I brought them up.
Oh. The Human League.
The Black Eyed Peas.
How about the Proclaimers?
The Blues Brothers.
The Everett Brothers.
I love
The Civil Wars.
Why do so many bands love to use the word "the"? I mean, it's just like that's just.
Well,
The
fucking
flame-
ask me that question
The
again,
Flaming
motherfucker.
Lips. We didn't
Oh,
pick the
we forgot the
Flaming
Flaming
Lips.
But
Lips.
hey, no. Ask me that goddamn question again.
Why are there
The-
so many
you
the bands?
Because it's an article in English. In
It's a stupid
English,
article.
In English, it's one of the most common words, brother. Brother.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
I'm trying to think of like. Let's go over new. I say we talk about what we're liking in the music.
Yeah, what have you been
industry
listening
right
to lately?
now. What have I been listening to recently? I'm going to my like songs.
Do you? Here. Do you have a liked songs playlist? Like, are you like liking?
They don't
new
have that
songs?
I
on
have
Apple
some-
Music. That's some
No,
broke
they
shit.
actually
I was
do.
about. I was about to ask.
They
'cause,
do, but I don't use it. But I do download songs that I like.
Like, your
like.
your five most recent songs you like that you've downloaded, and let's all go down.
Let's alternate. What's your first song?
My first song is Danny Diaz, Spider Gorge.
What the hell is that?
Never heard of
It's
it.
a house like techno song.
It sounds like a deep EDM cut.
It's house. It's pretty funny.
That is EDM still under my definition.
correct, as we debated earlier.
I'm gonna pick this song.
It has to be your most recent. Like,
I don't. My most recent is
Your
I
most
add songs, but
yeah. Don't.
Okay, there's a song called I'm gonna just explain it.
No, what is
Okay,
it?
it's called-
like just the top song.
Yeah,
it's
what's it
called.
called?
There's
It's
no
called.
thinking.
It's called "Bittersweet" by Chairman of the Board.
Okay.
Okay,
It's a Motown song.
Okay.
that's cool.
I know it because
Say
it was
less.
sampled by a Kanye song. Okay.
Okay, perfect. All right, you guys aren't gonna know this one either. Maybe you would. So the song is "Alaska" by Maggie Rogers.
You showed me
Yeah.
that song
Okay,
a while back.
Sophie Tucker just did a remix of it. Sick.
I gotta check that.
Wait,
out.
so was it the original you have liked or the remix?
The
you have?
remix. I've been listening to that.
Oh,
song.
all right. Let's make sure we clarify. So you had the
re-
remix.
Yeah,
Like,
so yeah, Alaska, Maggie Rogers, and Sophie Tucker remix. Yeah.
nice. And then what was your next one?
50K, Young Martyr.
Okay, yeah, as we discussed
Yeah.
earlier. My next one is going to be "Like I Like It" by Mal P.
Ooh, I do like Malp.
my next one, and I
And-
wouldn't even say I listened to this song. Like you want to continue?
Well, I was gonna kind of describe the song a little.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's kind of like a more housey song. Like he often has like these like kind of bigger electro songs, and it's kind of like more. It's more of a bop than a banger.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense.
This song I'm not playing like crazy, but I just downloaded it. More Than My Hometown by Morgan Wallen. I'm trying to get in the country. I'm working myself in the country.
I like that. Is
Okay.
that right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I mean,
Is it me?
Yeah.
Blessings by Calvin Harris and Clementine Douglas. Wonderful song.
I've never heard of any of the songs you guys are from Sean.
Oh, dude, you guys need to listen to Blessings. That song's fucking awesome.
When we wrap up, should we just share the songs before
we're
we
good.
depart?
No, I think this is a good thing, a good place to wrap it up. We're already clocking in an hour 20, so go ahead.
And so, what was your fourth liked song?
Acting Up by Tommy Richmond.
I think $1 Million Baby is one of the best songs of last year.
Yeah. So
I love that
this
song.
song's pretty good too. He's got a few.
I'm excited to listen to it
that's a good
because I want to hear his other shit.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So then my next one is Craving More by Conrad Taylor and Hook Line. Conrad Taylor is this artist that kind of came by. There's like a couple in a row that I liked by him. He's this, I don't know, kind of seems like a diverse, up and coming EDM artist. EDM, as you say, artist. And then I Will Live by Tyler Conrad. And that's a deep ass techno song.
Okay. So this is a band we were talking about, like the indie boom of like the 2000s, where a lot of indie artists just somehow got like big like hit songs and stuff. Midnight City by M83.
Oh, it's a wonderful song.
Yeah, like that's we forgot to mention that one.
Awesome.
Yeah. But
and then you have two more. You have one more.
Sweet Memories, Zed's Dead. Get your fucking life together and listen to that song. Listen to that whole album. No sponsorship on the podcast. Zed's Dead's whole new album, cover to cover, phenomenal.
All right.
And then you have two more?
I'll do my last two. Okay, another song. I just stumbled upon a TikTok, just showing the sample of the song, "Therapy" by Mac Miller. I'm a big fan of samples, so I like listening to hip hop with samples in it. And then the last song I'm going to mention, "Godspeed" by Frank Ocean. I'm sure you guys know that song.
Yeah, great, beautiful song.
Yeah, I mean, one of the songs I kind of left behind when I don't know how you guys listen to albums nowadays, but when I listen to albums, I listen to an album once. I take the best tracks and I listen to the tracks I like repeatedly.
Yeah.
And I don't really go back to the songs I don't like. So there is a lot of songs I overlook from Blonde that I haven't. But the songs I do like, I play all the time. Like that's kind of usually how my listening experience nowadays.
I feel like that's a pretty normal way to go about it.
And my last song on the liked is "Can't Decide" by Max Dean, Luke Dean, and Loki, and that's another really
Loki.
dope song.
Okay.
House song. Great sample. You would appreciate the sample. I think we're about to listen to it.
Bet. All right, sounds good. I think that's a good place to end it. Thank you, Reed.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic.
It was a lot of fun.
You're a great foil the whole time.
Yeah. Always brought your own flavor, so that's what we appreciate. So thank you. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you next time.